For 35 years, Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee has been feeding hungry people and working to solve the issues of hunger in their communities. And in their 5-year strategic plan, they want to increase their distributions by nearly 70% in order to meet the rising need in their service area. In order to meet their strategic goal, Second Harvest felt that it's necessary to better track the geographic areas that need more food distributed into them and identify the weaknesses in their distribution network of partner agencies. In order to do this, they felt that they needed to collect more data on the agency performance and also find out where the food is actually ending up to the end client. The current system that they use for their emergency food box program is simply insufficient to help them gather that information. In developing the system, one of the major constraints was the construct of the agencies they work with. The agencies have different resources available when it comes to technical abilities, technical infrastructure. Working in the 46 county area, the agencies are widely dispersed, some in very rural areas, other in metro areas. Not all agencies operate on the same schedule. There's not a standard on the information that each agency collects, and each agency distributes food to their clients in different manners. In the analysis phase, to gather the requirements for the system, we distributed a questionnaire to other food banks in the Feeding America network that have similar operations to Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee and have also expressed interest in a client tracking system. We also conducted interviews with Second Harvest Food Bank staff, and we watched the agency distribution take place and follow that process. As we analyzed the data we collected, confidentiality of the client's information was paramount, as well as the ability for agency employees and staff and volunteers to be able to access the system 24/7 because of the varying operation hours. Functionally, the system is very simple. There are really only 3 areas required, and that's gathering information. However, the system had to be flexible enough to accommodate the differences in the information collected and required for each aspect. In addition to the questionnaires, interviews, and observations, we would recommend for the system using JAD sessions in order to further define the requirements, creating use cases, and then also DFD diagrams and ERDs in order to develop the system and the flexibility in order for it to meet the needs of all the agencies and potentially multiple food banks. As we moved into the design phase and we looked at our alternatives for the architecture, it was apparent that software as a service was the best fit for this particular system because of the simplicity, but more importantly because of the lack of technical resources the agencies had, as well as limited resources that the food bank has available. When we began designing the user interface, since the product was going to be web-based, we looked at the tabbed format as it makes the entire information data set available from a single screen, and it's very easy to use. Besides the contextual awareness and aesthetics, we also made sure that our data entry screens provided plenty of white space so that information could be added by the different agencies as they collected more information or less information to meet their needs. Because of the limitations of query-based reporting and the flexibility of OLAP reporting, we decided that reporting would be done through OLAP, which can then be displayed in dashboards, as well as utilizing pivot tables in Excel, a very common tool among the users. Because of the flexibility required in the system and the differing information collected, really we concentrated on creating the master tables for our users, which created the security matrix, the agencies, as well as the clients. And the transactional tables allowed us to keep an audit trail of any changes to client records, as well as the importance of the client distributions and the food that clients received and its traceability. The sheer number of users and the geographic disbursement of the agencies caused a challenge in planning the training and implementation. But we decided that we would use a combination of web-based training, on-site training at the agencies, as well as a central training facility at the food bank in order to provide all of the agency users appropriate exposure to the system before they then started testing the system in a sample environment. We plan on having them test for about 4 weeks, which would allow us then, based upon the training schedule, to stagger the go live, not only based upon their training and testing, but also making sure that resources at both the food bank and the agency were sufficient to make the go live successful. In addition to the traditional maintenance and support of a system, we wanted to make sure that we provided a mechanism for the users to provide feedback on the system that can be used to develop enhancements as the product matures. In the end, the system that we have worked with the food bank on is going to allow them to gather more information and get a better view of their overall operations and allow them to reach their goal of narrowing the hunger gap in their service area.